Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today, inshallah, we'll be beginning Muraqabat. Muraqabat is the study of two words. This is where we did last, which is broken plurals. We also did the chart page 144, which is the study of broken plurals, singular words versus plural, and their meanings. What we'll be doing now is word constructions, meaning the study of single words is complete. Now, when two words come together, in Arabic, when two words come together, they give different kinds of meanings. It is what we need to analyze first. And then only we can move to sentences. So to translate sentences, you need to understand these word constructions. Murakkab means it is two or more words that come together. It includes these 5 constructions which are mentioned here: describing, pointing, possession, and jar. There are just 4 mentioned here. There is one more. There are 5. You can add nasb constructions also. As we move ahead, we'll see what they are and what are the words that are there inside it and what are the meanings. Now, when we see these constructions, they are merged in, sometimes you will have a pointing, describing, there may be a combination of constructions as well and combining into one unit. So these construction study and helps us to analyze the sentence. Now here they have included, if you see here, relative pronouns, because even relative pronouns, they will not come as a single word. They will be like a possession construction. So those are also included here. We'll see that as we move ahead. The first one that we'll be doing, it's quite easy. It is called Murakkab at-Tawsifi. Tawsifi is from Sifa. Sifa is what? Sifat is some describing word, like a characteristic, an adjective. So Sifa is adjective. The word that which you are describing is called mausuf. Now in English, what do we say? Like a big book. Okay, a big is a describing word. It's an adjective, and a book is what is being described. So all the adjectives always come before, like a big, thick book. So again, all the adjectives are first, and then whatever you're describing is coming at the end. But in Arabic, that is not the case. In Arabic, what you will do is whatever you're describing, which is the mausuf, will come first, and whatever adjectives are there, they all will follow after that. Whatever, it can be one adjective or many adjectives. The other thing that you need to know in Murakkab Tawsifi is like sifa, as we know, that is also an ism. The word being described is an ism. Its characteristic is an ism. Now, since it's an ism, it will have 4 properties. Both these words will match all the 4 properties of the noun. Now, you see, if somebody is directly jumping to this lesson, you won't be able to understand this topic. Why? Because you need to know the previous lessons. That is why I mentioned that when you are going to study, read them, learn them in the order, because all the lessons, each lesson is dependent upon the previous one. Okay, so you should know the 4 characteristics of an ism very well. The 4 characteristics, whatever the mausuf is in, the sifa will have exactly the 4 same characteristics, like gender, definite, plurality, which is the number, and i'rab. So if a word is in rafa, if it's feminine, if it's definite, and if it's single, the sifa will also have to match all those 4 properties. So the way to identify murakkab tawsifi, whenever you see 2 words, like if you see over here, I can see 2 words. 2 words very similar in their characteristics. Both are ism, both both having tanween kasra, both are indefinite, don't have alif lam, don't have alif lam. First one also furush, also marfu also. So the quantity also, if you see furush, it's 1 singular, and it's feminine. So if feminine singular furush, yeah, we take furush as feminine singular, and marfu as having closed tie, that's why it's feminine. So when you have like these 2 similar words, you should know that first word is mausuf, second word is describing that. So furush is a word, it's a noun we are mentioning. Okay, furush, and then something about furush. What is furush? It is marfu'a. How is furush? Furush is marfu'a. Furushim marfu'atin. Now furush, we just now completed broken plural. So we remember that in broken plurals, what did we say? That the word will be considered as singular feminine. So although furush, over here, if we see furush is plural, but it's a broken plural. So whenever you will use the adjective, you're going to make it singular and feminine. That is why if you see marfu'a is feminine and it's in the singular form. So that is why we say that the both are matching in the properties. Now in the second example, which is here. Okay, let's complete the text and then we'll move ahead. So in next example, it's mentioned that one mawsuf can have many adjectives, which is what I already mentioned. Now again, if you look at the word min kunna, okay, over here, min kunna, I think they're referring. Just hold on. I'll just check where it's not mentioned here anywhere. Okay, it will come inshallah. We see that when you have a word in between, like you have a word, okay, and the sifa, before the sifa you may have some word in between also. That can happen, no issues. But if you have a jar construction, no, this is notice there on 43 for jar construction. Sometimes these jar constructions, now you don't know what jar construction is, so when we do that, we'll come to that. Even some verbs and other words can also act as a sifa. Now in these case, the rules that are mentioned, which is the four properties and all that, that is going to be excluded. So it's all under advanced grammar. So these you can ignore for now. The basic thing you need to know is two words coming together, both isms, and both are having exactly the same four properties. Then in that case, first word is an ism and second word is describing it. So this is known as mawsuf or sifa. Now coming here, there are some examples given on the next page. If you have the PDF, you will see these in colored, and if you're going to print it out, maybe it may be black and white. It depends on how you print it. So if you see the first one, وَلَهُمْ فِيهَا أَزْوَاجٌ مُتَحَّرَةٌ وَهُمْ فِيهَا خَالِدُونَ. So you see أزواج مطهرة, both are ضمة تنين ضمة, both are indefinite, plural, feminine. So that means azwaj is what is mentioned, which is spouse. And how are the spouses? They are mutahhara, they are purified spouse. Yeah, and then here the second example which we saw, min kunna. Now if you see the ayah, asa rabbuhu in طلق كنا أن يبدله أزواجا خيرا من كنا مسلمات مؤمنات قانتات تائبات عابدات سائحات ثيبات وأبكارا. Perhaps his Lord, if he divorced you all, would substitute for him wives, azwajan, again plural, feminine wives. Khayran, how are the azwaj? Khayran, this is describing, okay? Khayran min kunna, better than you submitting to Allah. Khayran min kunna, better than who? Better than muslimatin. Now here, if you see min kunna is separating. After azwaj, you have one adjective here, which is khayran. Immediately you don't have the next adjective, you have a separator in between. That's fine. You can have sometimes adjectives at a long distance also, so that is fine. That was what was mentioned here about the second one. Then the rest is the notes about the next few ayat, so let's see those. إن الذين يحادون الله ورسوله كبتوا كما كبت الذين من قبلهم وقد أنزلنا آيات بينات وللكافرين عذاب مهين. Indeed, those who oppose Allah and His Messenger, إن الذين يحادون الله ورسوله كبتوا كما كبت الذين, they are abased as those before them were abased. من قبلهم. وقد, and we have certainly أنزلنا, sent down, آيات, verses. How are the ayat? بينات, آيات بينات. So it's bayinat means clear. So clear ayat, or clear verses, clear evidence, the verses of clear evidence. So bayinat is describing ayat. So the second word describes the first. Walil kafirina, and for the disbelievers. عذاب مهين is a humiliating punishment. عذاب. وللكافرين عذاب. For kafirin there is عذاب. How is the عذاب? عذاب مهين. It's muhin. It's humiliating. So both are matching in all the four properties. That's how you come to know that they are. The second word is describing the first one. Now here these are very simple. So you can go through this one, fourth one. Now over here, if you see this part, لا مقطوعة ولا ممنوعة. Okay, this it is mentioned over here about أصحاب اليمين. وأصحاب اليمين ما أصحاب اليمين في صدر مخدود. صدر مخدود. Although we stop, if you see both are having كسرة كسرة كسرتين. So this مخدود is describing صدر. How is the صدر? It's مخدود. وطلح منضود وظل ممدود وماء مسكوب وفاكهة كثيرة لا مقطوعة ولا ممنوعة. Now, although this is one whole term, this whole term is describing fakiha, the fruits. Okay. So sometimes you may have some other words or jar constructions also which will act as a sifa. So it's mentioned fakiha, fruits, kasira, many. And then there are some additional things mentioned about it. La maqtu'atin wa la mamnu'a. So this is also acting as a sifa. But there'll be more things about this in the advanced grammar topics. Okay. So you can go over the fifth, sixth, and seventh example to understand. Then you have pointing constructions. What do you mean by pointing construction? Like when you say this, that means you're pointing at something. You're saying something about this or something about that or these. Okay, so those are known as pointing words. Their hada is for this, dhalika is for far away. Hada is something that is near. So in pointing words, you have two parts, which is some words which are for pointing to something near, which is qareeb, something that points to something qareeb, and something that points to something very far, which is al-ba'id. Now, when a pointing word is used to point at something, we take both of these words as one unit. Like how they're describing constructions, you don't leave the word alone. Both of them you take together, which is what we did just now, Mausuf Sifa. Same way, pointing noun and the noun being pointed to, they have the same four characteristics. Okay, the only thing if you see here, hada, in Rafa, Nasb, Jar, hada is hada because it's mabni. It will not change. The Rafa, Nasb, Jar, it will not change. So how do you identify what status it is in? It depends upon the word that it is pointing at. It will have the same four properties. Now, if you have a word after hada, now this is important because it's going to distinguish it from a sentence. If after these pointing words, like if you have hada kitabun, okay, it's indefinite, hada kitabun. But if you have a definite word after it, you don't have hada kitab, it's joining hadal kitab. What is the difference between these two now? Okay, hadal kitab is something that you have hada, and after that you have a noun that is indefinite. Hadal kitab. Then it is pointing that this book. But when you have indefinite, what did I say? Sorry, hadal kitab, and you have definite, because you're pointing at something, you know what you're talking about, you know, so it will be definite. Hadal kitab. But if something that you don't know, hada kitabun, then that becomes a sentence. Jumla ismiya. Then that is a sentence. Okay. Examples of pointing nouns. First, you need to know the chart. There is for dual also, but basically it's not very important in the sense it doesn't come a lot in the Quran. So you just need to know these three words. هذا, هذه, هؤلاء. هذا is this, هذه is these, and هؤلاء is these. Sorry, هذه is this for feminine. هؤلاء, these for plural, many. We have done this chart before in the previous class, so you can go over that, but remember these very well. Then for far away, something that is far, you need to say that. That is ذلك. For feminine, you will say تلك. And those, all of them, you will say أولئك. Now, the dual pointing nouns are seldom used, and that's why it's not emphasized. Now, over here, if you see, وَأُوحِيَ إِلَيَّ هَذَا الْقُرْآنُ لِأُنذِرَكُمْ بِهِ وَمَنْ بَلَغَ. And this Quran was revealed to me. وَأُوحِيَ إِلَيَّ was revealed to me. هَذَا الْقُرْآنُ, this Quran. هذا is a pointing word. لِأُنذِرَكُمْ بِهِ مَنْ بَلَغَ, so that I may warn you thereby and whomever it reaches. If you see هذا and هذا القرآن, you have a definite word here, al-Quran. Okay, so هذا is also definite. All these pronouns, sorry, pointing nouns are all definite. So you will have, if the way to remember, like you know that these charts, what we have studied, we have seen that these are all definite. Okay, and if you have a pointing construction, both the words will be matching in all the four properties. So if you want to have a pointing construction, you have to have a definite word after it, because هذا is definite. هذا is definite, so you need a definite word after it. If the word after it is not definite, then it's sentence, it's جملة اسمية. So هذا is definite, it's masculine singular رفع. Al-Quran, definite masculine singular رفع. And you will say this Quran, pointing construction. But if you see over here, وهذا كتاب أنزلناه مبارك مصدق الذي بين يديه. And this is a book which we have sent down, blessed and confirming what was before it. Now here when you see هذا, it's definite, masculine, singular, and rafa. But if you see kitabun, masculine singular rafa is matching, but the first property is not matching because kitabun is indefinite. So here it's not a pointing construction now. It's not this book. It is this is a book. It is a sentence. So here you will have to add an is. In Arabic, is invisible. You do not have a separate word for is. There is like kana and all is there, but it's not um, like sentences when you want to form. You don't need the is. The is implied. They speak in such a way that the is already there. Same way. تلك القرى نقص عليك من أنبائها. Those cities. تلك قرى. Okay, tilka is from dhalika, it's pointing to something far. Tilkal Qura, cities, we relate to you, O Muhammad, some of their news. وَكُلَا مِنْهَا رَغَدًا حَيْثُ شِئْتُمَا وَلَا تَقْرَبَا هَذِهِ الشَّجَرَةَ فَتَكُونَا مِنَ And eat therefrom, وَكُلَا مِنْهَا رَغَدًا حَيْثُ شِئْتُمَا in ease and abundance from wherever you will. وَلَا تَقْرَبَا And do not approach this tree. هَذِهِ الشَّجَرَةَ This tree, so it's pointing over here. You see, it's هذه lamb. So it's pointing. Lest you may be among the wrongdoers. فتكونا من الظالمين. وتلك الأمثال نضربها للناس لعلهم يتفكرون. And these examples, تلك الأمثال, we present to the people that perhaps they will give thought. The next will be continuing from إضافة, which is murakkab إضافي. So you can just revise until till here. If you have any questions on these two topics, you can post them. And please revise, because going forward now, once these constructions, we just have 3 more and then it's going to be sentences. So to know the sentences, you need to know the words properly and also the constructions properly. I will end the class here now. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.